Welcome back to our listeners to another episode of Orange Juice, news and notes from around the world of Insoles. I am, of course, your host, Owen, and back with us we have Mallory. How are you, Mallory?
Doing good. I'm excited for fall to start. It's getting a little cooler here in Chicago.
Yes, we have very similar weather most of the time, I feel like, but we went right from like 90-degree heat, humidity to like high 60s, low 70s, slight chill in the air. Uh, Football is here. I almost just said fantasy football is here, but football broadly is here. So we are juiced. Obviously, we're a football family. Tom, our founder, went to Indiana University. That's where Mallory went as well, and played tight end and defensive end there. And then brother Tom went to college and played, and I played in high school. And Mallory and Marcia know all the football talk, so we are excited to see things kick off and the journey of the season. So
Yeah, I actually learned all about football, not even necessarily from you guys, but I did middle school cheer and they made us learn what was going on so we could do the cheers. And like when you're talking about a first down, we're like, what is that? And so they had to teach us everything about football before
that's
they let us
awesome.
cheer.
That's awesome. Speaking of maybe new to football, what do you think about uh, the Taylor Swift Travis Kelsey engagement?
I mean, what else did we expect? Where else was it gonna go?
It is really cool how they're kind of bridging two pretty different audiences, like the football world and the Swifties, and kind of having that spin on it. So with that, do you have a fantasy football team this year?
I don't. I don't think I've ever done a fantasy football team. I don't know enough. It would be really bad.
I think you could do it. My wife Ashley is in a league. I saw some of my friends posting that are girls at like the draft party and whatnot. I think um, they literally did it because they're like Taylor Swift fans and they're like, all right, let's do fantasy football now and that sort of thing. But it's really
Travis
funny.
Kelce, number one pick.
Yeah, exactly. Travis on my team. But the earlier in honor of Taylor, I dropped in a little hint about a journey, which is our topic. So, fantasy, or excuse me, not fantasy football anymore, but starting a different F. Starting a fitness journey can be something that's pretty difficult. And at Orange Insoles, our slogan is feel better, do more. So, in honor of that, we talk about getting your body moving and exercising and tips and tricks, but a lot of it really is about getting started on that journey, and it can be difficult at times to kind of find the right avenue to be your best and most healthy self. So we were just going to kind of discuss our personal journeys, which are really evolving every day. Mallory and I aren't at the end of our fitness journeys. Obviously, we're younger adults, but even more so, it's not like we're going to be doing the same things every day for the next 20, 30, 40 years. It's always a changing thing. And the reason why is really because your body's changing as well. And one of the keys is just listening to your body as you go through your fitness journey. So, um, with that said, we'll kind of hop into it. Mallory, did I do a good job teeing that up? Just getting going on a fitness journey, or anything you want to add?
Yeah, no, definitely good. And this is our new co-host Lana for today. She has to apparently be on my lap. I'm scared to irritate her. She might smash the keyboard. So, she'll be here. But
All good.
yeah,
She's on her fitness journey too.
yeah. But as for I guess my fitness journey, I mean, we both played sports growing up. We were in a sports heavy household. But what I think was interesting about that is I wasn't necessarily a super fit kid. I mean, I could play sports and I would get in shape during the off season, but say we're doing team sprints, I was always in the back of the pack, probably last a lot of the time, that kind of thing. But to some degree, but I had like a relationship with fitness, and I understood some things because of that background. And I played basketball, volleyball, and lacrosse. And then, as you get into high school, they make you cross train a bit and hit the weight room. Um, so I had some experience with sports, but I wasn't necessarily like aware of fitness or thinking about it that much. And then obviously too, there's like bike riding around the neighborhood with your friends, and you know what, that kind of thing too. So like I was active, not necessarily a super fit kid, like maybe someone who did gymnastics or something like that would have been. So it was in my life, but not really. Um, I'm curious how you feel about your like childhood and because you were kind of more intense in football than I was in some of my sports.
Yeah, so as you pointed out, that sports kind of drove the fitness journey, especially in the earlier years. That's 100% true for me. I mean, sometimes we would like go up to the gym and play basketball or go swimming or whatever and do that sort of stuff. But mostly what I was doing to stay fit was working out, or was really participating in my sports, whether it was basketball or did baseball for a little bit, football, all of the above. Really having these events to go to really just like your workouts and your fitness is pretty much planned for you. So as early as middle school, I would do football conditioning in the summer and then hop into the season where you're doing practice and that sort of thing, and obviously the games for a couple of months. And then we take a couple month break, and a lot of times I'd play basketball, so that starts up. And then come springtime, there's a uh, there's a weightlifting program as well for football. So boom, you're right back into it. Or a lot of people did track or whatever. So really, you have in most of the time practices every day or at least every other day. So you have these things kind of driving your fitness journey. And then for me, later on when I was just doing football, kind of the same thing. There's a year-round fitness regimen that you follow and that sort of thing. But then it all kind of ends, and you don't really have those scheduled activities that really mean something, at least to most people. They get pride out of participating in a team sport, and the competitive side comes out. So you want to go practice, or you want to go work out or train or be your best self for these things. But then suddenly again, you don't have that necessarily team sport or element that you participate in anymore. So that's one thing that I noticed is once the team sports slowed down, I had to find new ways to stay fit, and frankly didn't quite hit the gym and work out as much as I probably should have. But there are other ways to be conscious of your fitness and overall health, which I was doing as well throughout college and into my adult years. But yeah, a lot of it does stem from kind of like what's your motivation, and why are you working out, or why are you moving your body and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I feel like that transition, especially if you were someone who grew up playing sports to college and you're not as active anymore, it's not the same, can be pretty hard for a lot of people. That's where I feel like you hear the freshman 15. It's not just about what people are eating. A lot of it too is just like you don't have practice every day. And I remember at first I was really happy about that. I was excited for a break. I was kind of coming off an intense lacrosse season, and usually most of my summers were spent playing lacrosse tournaments, and I was so happy to not have to do that for once. So I wasn't eager to get into sports again. And some people know too, and I feel like this is an interesting thing to point out, that I did lose a good amount of weight my freshman year of college. Some people know that, but it is not my fitness journey. I did not work out at all. I maybe went to the gym a few times with my roommate and did weights, but doing weights like once a month, like that's not really it wasn't really the start of anything for me. The only thing I did do was I loved to walk. I, would walk to classes a lot. I would, take a few mile walk to get a coffee. It was more of like a mental health thing, but that was like the only kind of exercise I was doing for a while. But, for me, again, not having a place to start, that kind of was where I started. I just was walking and moving, and that is totally fine if that is, where you need to start. But took a few years before I actually started getting into the fitness side of my health, more than just what I ate.
Yeah, and a really good point there, viewing it almost as like a mental health sort of thing, because I had to go through a transition. It actually took me a long time to start viewing fitness in a different way, where it's like I'm not necessarily training for something, and it's not necessarily just to have a peak body image per se. Like that's not necessarily the point, but the more I guess fit you are, and the more you move your body really the better you feel. So completing those activities and getting your heart rate up and doing that sort of thing really does just make you feel better, whether it's sitting down for an afternoon of work and you were able to do a lunch workout, or end of the day, you just had a long day doing this or that, you can relieve some stress, or even just starting your morning by moving your body really you're going to feel better unless you like absolutely kill yourself with the workout. But if you do, just a regular workout or within your capabilities, you're usually going to get a general lift on how you're feeling, especially if you do it on a consistent basis as well.
Yeah, and that's a good point too. And it's just get jumping to obstacles a bit. Um, a really big one people have is intimidation and fear of judgment, or like you're not good enough. Um, I'll get into more of the mental side of that, but on the physical side, if you don't feel like you're good enough, you're also not going to get better unless you start showing up, and improving your skills. So that's just something really important to keep in mind. Like, when I started going to yoga classes, I was so embarrassed. I didn't know like what words meant and what poses were, and I was like always watching other people. Um, but after a few months, I felt like I was the expert, and people could watch me, and I was feeling way more confident. But then the other side of that is, and I'm sure we all know it, and our brains like to ignore it, but like, really, people don't care. Like, they're probably not talking about you, not looking at you, not focusing about you. They're focusing on themselves. So don't be scared. And also, people are probably more encouraging. Like, they're happy that you're there and you're also working on yourself. And anyone who is a jerk, like, that is what they are, and that has nothing to do with you. So
That
don't let anyone get you down or in your head about it.
that's kind of what I was thinking when you first started talking about just like being self-conscious and whatnot. Like if anyone really has a problem, like it it's their problem, right? And you probably won't experience this at all, because what I was going to point out is on a past podcast we had a coach of a running group from Team Playmakers, the store that we worked at and all that good stuff. Anna was on here, so literally the coach of the team who works with all of the like I guess like main people that train you and that sort of thing, and has a relationship with every athlete per se. And I use the term athlete loosely. She said that everyone is just so happy and encouraged that you're there, and that's firsthand from a coach of a local running group. It's a run walk group to be fair, but so many people are just excited to see you out there. We also have our champion athlete or sponsor athlete, Amelia Moore, who's a boxer, and we asked her, how do you feel about kind of boxing and how it's growing and becoming more popular? And she loved it, and really the first thing she did was encourage us to go and take a boxing class. So it's not like she has her guard up and is like, hey, this is my sport, don't try it. People are very encouraging, and that's from a professional athlete who really does have serious events coming up and goals and things that they're working hard at doing. So again, it hate to be that guy saying it's kind of all in your head, but with that sort of stuff, if you are intimidated, and it's a natural feeling to be fair, but there's no reason to be. And like Mallory said, you just got to kind of get started and hop into it. So transitioning a little bit, I mean, it's easier said than done to get started because a lot of us lead a busy life, and I'll use my current self as an example. So obviously work full time with Orange Insoles here, and that eats up a lot of my time naturally, as it should. We've got all sorts of stuff going on, but we also have two children at home, and I'm taking care of both of them during the day a lot of the time if my wife is working that day and that sort of thing. So doing that, and then also we have a couple of dogs, so we like to walk them, and obviously they have their basic needs, and then we have landscaping and cleaning a house. So there's all of this stuff going on, and a lot of the times it is very difficult to plan, so to speak, or yeah, plan hopping on like the Peloton or doing a workout class or that sort of thing. So it is important to be intentional and just find, I guess, those holes in your day, whether that's before work or after work or at lunchtime, or maybe you get a break during the day. Just really be intentional. And what works best for me and also my wife Ashley is to just pencil it in and kind of block it off in your calendar, like, hey, this is when I'm going. And then it's easier for you to know when it's happening. You can plan for it, whether that's, eating a good meal before or just making sure you're hydrated or get the proper amount of rest. So it can be difficult, but it's really just about making that leap and staying organized and committed to your plan.
Yeah, and also if you're trying to figure out what kind of workouts to do, I mean, you can start simple and do some at-home stuff. Google, 20-minute at-home workout if you don't have like no equipment, if you don't want to invest in anything yet, or if you do have a few free weights or bands, put that into your search and just start at home with like 15 to 20 minutes when you can fit it in. Um, Another great thing is classes, though. That is a really great way to learn proper form and technique, especially if you're trying new exercises. My real fitness journey began because I read a self help book that was like, try something you always wanted to do. So I started taking aerial classes. Um, and, I obviously would not be able to do that at home, and it was very intimidating. But going in, the community was great. And I learned a lot. And I think you kind of brought this up earlier, too, just talking about like your goals. Because I wasn't weightlifting, I wasn't doing stuff for aesthetic purposes. I wanted to learn the dance moves, I wanted to learn how to do a cool aerial trick. My goals were shifting, away from like how I look and that kind of thing to more of what I can do with my body. And it was really cool to kind of learn that and just try a new class. So if that you are wanting to go beyond just like a normal gym like we think about with weights and cardio equipment, I'd really suggest trying new classes, Googling boutique fitness studios near you. ClassPass is super amazing. You can sign up for ClassPass, and they have affiliations with all different kinds of the studios and workout facilities. You can try all kinds of different things. Um, like all to say, like I said, if you don't know where to start with what kind of workout, you can start simple at home, or you can, kind of go on a journey of trying a lot of different kinds of exercise, and seeing what you actually might like, because there's so many cool things out there to try. Or even kickboxing, like you mentioned. Owen, what's like the coolest workout class you've tried?
To be honest, I've done very few workout classes at all. So terrible question.
All right, we'll make
um,
it fun.
no, it's been a while, but I like the basically like the high intensity interval training, especially when it's really well mapped out. So there's a local gym in the Lansing area called State of Fitness, and they were really good about getting you a full body workout in like 40 minutes flat, and that's also including your stretching and foam rolling in the beginning and kind of warm up routine and that sort of thing. So to me, basically having it all laid out where it's like hit this, hit this, hit this, hit this, and then before you know it, you're done. Those have really been what I found the most useful or really rewarding, and where I feel best after something more like that. But it's been a long time since I've done something like that too.
Fair. And also one more thing to throw in about when you're starting, you don't have to go and work out 5, 6, 7 days a week right off the bat. Again, maybe start with 2 or 3 days, not only just for the sake of your schedule, but also for the sake of your body adjusting to working out, especially if it's been a while. If you're, going too hard, you're getting too sore, you might injure yourself, you might not be able to, go at 100%. Really make sure you're giving yourself time to recover. And also, if it's not, really working for your body, or it's just something that, like, honestly, if it's a workout you're like dreading and you don't want to do and it's not enjoyable in some way to you, and that doesn't mean you're going to be so excited to go every time, but when you leave you feel good. I think that's a better gauge of it. Then if you're not feeling good, if you're not excited to go, maybe try something else. So just a note, when you're starting out, it's a bit of trial and error and figure out what works for you, and slow and steady wins the race. Consistency over time will take you a lot farther.
Exactly. And really the overarching theme here is to build a routine or fitness journey, so to speak, that you can enjoy. So whether that is just finding a few select classes that you really like or workouts that you like, that's great. But then also even just thinking about other ways to make your fitness journey fun. So maybe you start incorporating bike rides into your routine and you bike to get ice cream as like a reward or whatever it is. And obviously you're not eating ice cream every day leading up to that workout, but then like a nice crosstown bike ride to get ice cream, or maybe stop at like a boutique and go shopping and pick something out, or just whatever it is, like making it fun and doing that is a good thing. And for me too, I mean, this is really more for like homeowners, or even people not necessarily own a home, but making like at home projects into almost like a fitness thing. So like for me, like going outside and pulling the weeds, that will take really quite a while and be on my feet and using all sorts of different muscles. But at the end, now I have a weed-free yard, right? And I get to look at it and enjoy that. Or maybe you want to reorganize your garage, so you're going to take everything out of it, sweep it out or whatever, and put everything back. Like just naturally moving your body, doing these things, and then at the end, you have something to look at and be like, hey, there you go, that was worth it. That's another way to just easily get your body moving if you're not doing a workout that day, or it's not in the cards or whatever it may be.
Yeah, and I'll preface this next kind of point with, again, slow and steady. Do not do this all at once, but as you get more into your fitness journey, um, think about the importance too of cross training, and that's why it's fun to do different kinds of workouts or incorporate different kinds of movement in your day. So try to get in some kind of strength training, some kind of cardio, and some kind of mobility, if you can, in your week. I know, again, it's hard when you're just starting out, but as you continue to grow your practice, that's going to be really important, again, to prevent injuries, keep your body healthy. And then it can also, like, if you have something you're training for, whether it is a marathon or, in my case, aerial stuff or contortion, or you start playing even basketball rec league, stuff like that. If you have some goals that you want to work on or sports you want to get better at, cross training will help you so much. So it's really important to make sure we're getting in a variety of movements and workouts just so we're healthy and at our best.
Great point. In especially when you talk about staying injury free. You may be, or you probably will be sore after a couple of workouts or whatever it may be. But one tool not to be overlooked is insoles and just proper footwear. So as you are kind of mapping out these new activities, make sure you ask yourself, hey, what shoes am I going to be wearing if shoes are required? And are they comfortable? Do they need more support? Would they be better with an insole? Me being the insole guy, I would probably tell you that if you're starting something new, high impact, that sort of thing, that'll definitely help kind of bridge uh, bridge the gap there as you get going and aren't as used to those movements in the first place. So don't overlook footwear and insoles. We do also have, of course, our insole finder on our website. So you can go in there and it's going to get you set up with the right one for your footwear, for your activity, that sort of thing. So just as we were talking about kind of cross training and the right way to get started, I felt like I definitely had to throw that in there as well.
Definitely. Yeah, it can make such a difference, especially on like being super like if you're not wearing the right shoes and you're like, I'm gonna start my running journey today. I made that mistake. My shoes were too worn down, the ones I had, even with the insole, and I ended up getting shin splints and having to take a break, and it was a no go. So that can be like super discouraging. So it's nice. It's important to have the right footwear and insoles and things to help you so you can stay healthy and keep going. So again, consistency is more important than
And yeah,
burning
and
out.
even putting your insoles in your other shoes as well. Let's say you don't put them in your running shoes, for example, but you go and work and you stand on your feet for 8 hours a day. Having the insoles in those shoes can also help just give your feet a break and kind of get adjusted again as you're running and doing those other activities as well.
I think our last piece of advice is just when you're starting your fitness journey, it is amazing. You can do it by yourself, but it is a lot easier with a buddy or a group of people or some kind of community that can hold you accountable and inspire you and you can feel connected to. That makes all the difference. You know, for me, when I was even going to those gym sessions and I didn't love it, I went because my roommate was going and I had a lot of fun going with her and spending time with her. Um, Through my aerial stuff and yoga, I've gotten to meet a ton of cool people. I now teach classes, so I love my students. I love being a student. You know, I have book clubs with people from those groups. We go out, we get drinks after class. Like, it's so fun and social, and I have a reason to go beyond just like I want to exercise. A lot of the time, it's the motivation I need when I don't feel like going to class. I'm like, well, I can go hang out with my friends and take it easy, and then I show up and they push me and make it better. So, you know, whether it's reaching out to a friend or a family member or just finding community along the way, I think it's really helpful when you're starting out a fitness journey. So don't be afraid to talk to people.
Well said. And like we said earlier in the episode, a lot of the times, whoever that is for you will just be happy to be also making a connection while they're going through their fitness journey as well. So ultimately, it's up to you to hop in and get started. But hopefully, this gave you a few things to think about when you are getting started on your fitness journey, whether that's a new exercise or, excuse me, form of exercise that you can try, or even just some tips on how to make things easier. But we appreciate it, and we'll catch up with you guys next time. And good luck on your fitness journey.